The Welsh team just gathering in a huddle there, and I have to say, they looked bad last week and they looked hurting last week. They looked broken by this result. 8 tries, and they were in the game, Dan. They were in it in that first half.
I mean, it's 8 tries with a 20-minute red card as well, and they just looked like a team absolutely sort of bereft of ideas at the end, didn't they? The confidence looked shot. And the honest answer is I don't know where the team goes from here. With South Africa coming to town next week, the first game of the Six Nations in Paris away, then all of a sudden you face some game of Italy away in the second weekend. I mean, from your end, Sam, where do Wales go from here?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I was sort of walking around. It's really raw now, isn't it? Because we can see the boys walking past us. You can see the disappointment on their face. But then you look at the quality on the Australian team, the quality on our team, and I just think, maybe this is where we are right now.
I was just about to ask, is that where Wales are at the minute?
I think it feels like that, yeah. I mean, credit to Australia, by the way. Like, it was great to see Australia playing like Australia. Like, you know, I played against Australian teams in the past. You know, God, I couldn't beat Australia. Like, they were brilliant, and it's great to see guys like Tom right there, very graceful in victory. But like Will Skelton and Valentini, I know Crevy got sent off, but they're big players. It's good to see a good Australian team. World Rugby needs a good Australia, so I'm pleased Australia are on their way back. But I just think for Welsh fans, we just got to realise, I think this is where we're at the minute. We're in a bit of a dark place. It might take a while to come out of it.
But they weren't perfect, Australia, and I think the disappointing thing is there was that period, 20 minutes in, Australia so dominant at the start, and the young Welsh lads got themselves back in the game. It's so difficult to sustain that, though, isn't it? That's the problem.
I think the big thing at the minute, Craig, and Sam, tell me if I'm wrong, is there belief in this squad at the minute? There's some guys on this field here who've played 9, 10, 11 caps, and they probably haven't had that feeling of winning. So how, when you're in a tight game, when it's 19-13, Australia have just had a red card, do you believe you can win that match? Is there enough belief in the squad at the minute?
Do you know what? It's a really good point actually you make, Biggs, because there's players here who haven't won a test now for 12 months, and they might start losing faith in whatever it is, the game plan, the belief, whereas is there something like, is there a default option they can go to they know can get them out of a hole? They don't know what that is at the minute, they haven't discovered it.
And it's South Africa that are coming, that's the problem. So if you're looking for confidence, you're looking for a foothold, you're looking for a glimmer of light, you're unlikely to get it against the double world champions.
Well, my question is, look, next week is going to be clearly, you know, in my opinion, probably too tough an ask. When you play South Africa, how good they are, they're beating everybody at the minute. So you go 30 or 12 next week, potentially. You potentially go 13 in Paris if you go on current form.
That would be the worst run in 143 years of rugby.
So you have to. We go back to the question we asked at the top of the show, and it's a horrible question to ask because these are players that we've played with, that we know well, we know the coaches, we know the management. But when do you say enough is enough? And when does a change? Does a change make this team better? Is changing Warren Gatland going to make this team all of a sudden go on to win 4, 5, 6 games on a spin?
Well, that's the thing. You can change a coach, Sam, but you can't change an entire squad. You have to work with what you've got, as you said.
100%. And it's not me being defeatist, right? Look, I'm a proud Welshman. Pains me to see this record. I'd love Wales to do well, but sometimes you just got to look man for man when we're playing. Look, we got some great young players, by the way, and we got some great players out there, but do we have enough to dine at the top table in international rugby? No, is the harsh answer, and I think that's it.
The answer at the minute is clearly no, because it's 11 defeats on the spin for Wales. So the honest answer is you've got dropped down to 11th in the world. So the answer to your question, Sam, is no at the minute. And you go South Africa, France. Just the question, I suppose, on everyone's lips and everyone asking is, when does it stop? When do you call time? When does a change make a difference? And
what does stopping look like, though? That's the thing.
Well, that's what I mean. It has to be. Do they look at that Italy game in Rome and really target that one? Because again, we're not being defeatist, but at the minute, Wales aren't in a position to be competing against South Africa.
But you know, like you're looking at team selection. Are you looking at our team selection going, oh, that's not our best team? Look, that's our best team. Like, I don't think we're looking at going...
Minus Thomas Williams, obviously, missing.
Sorry, injuries permitting. Injuries permitting, that's our best teams. I don't think we're like challenging the coaches saying we're picking the wrong guys. Look, these are the cards we're dealt right now.
So that's the here and now. And in 7 days, South Africa are going to be here in Cardiff. So what do you do in the interim? What do you look for out of that game?
That was going to be my question to Sam. As a former captain, how do you approach the week now in terms of, you know, we've been there before where it's been really tough times, and we've had, I suppose in our group when we were playing, we had senior pros, guys with 50, 60 caps, you know, 10, 15 of us. I suppose if you're a captain and a coach and Gatland in this, but where do you go this week?
What went well? Scrum looked really good. Scrum looked really good. I thought when Anscombe dropped into the pocket and did some crossfield kicks, aerial battle, we looked quite good. I thought there was some not decent strike moves off first phase, but I think the one thing which is the hard fix as well is we found it really hard to front up physically in D for periods of that game. Maul time was struggling, and I'll be honest, that's not something you can fix in 1 week. You can't build, without being too crude, you can't build a stone of muscle in a week to take on these Safa boys up front. Look, you can't. You can say, look, let's match fire with fire. We don't have that fire right now, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But we just don't have it up front.
And disappointingly, so many fans were leaving just as the 7th try was scored. There was a lot of empty spaces here anyway. Actually, it certainly wasn't a sellout. It does affect people coming to the stadium. It does affect the fans. It is a huge ripple effect, these losses, right?
It has a huge effect, you know, whether it's sponsors wanting to come in and you know, put more money into the game, whether it's bums on seats at the stadium, whether it's players sort of losing interest in the grassroots, and it has to change quickly. Now, again, we keep repeating myself, but does a change in management all of a sudden turn around and Wales are going to beat South Africa next week or France in the opening weekend? The answer now is probably not. But there has to be a time where a change can't do us any, or can't do Wales any harm. So it's a difficult one, because you don't want to be talking. We want to be talking about a Wales victory. We want to be talking about all these young Welsh players. But at the minute, it's very, very difficult to find positives, isn't it?